Cabelos cor de mel singela, seu nome é Mabel, é uma menina.
Hi guys, welcome back and Happy New Year. I can't believe it's actually been almost 3 weeks since I've last filmed. Like, this is my first official video of 2025, but I've had a lot of change going on these last few weeks, some of which I'm very excited for and other things that I'm a little bit nervous about. I just don't really know what to expect of 2025 if I'm being completely honest. But one thing I'm gonna be starting, and this is probably gonna sound crazy, but for 2025 I actually want to try to launch my very own Etsy shop. Every few years I get kind of like this itch to try something new or challenge myself in a different way. I feel like doing YouTube was just like such a big bucket list item for me in terms of like my social media journey, and now that I've like grown, it's slowly starting to feel a little bit redundant. And not that there's anything wrong with like repetitive routines and tasks or anything like that. I'm just someone that like once I get the ball rolling in one way, I kind of want to see like what I can add to it. So especially with this new year, it being officially 2025, I thought it would be the perfect time to try and introduce some change into my life. This is Earl Grey from this Korean brand called Osuluk, which is so good. What I really love about their teas is they have a really nice like aroma and fragrance. It's very floral, and the tea itself is like super duper smooth. Like there isn't like any kind of like astringency. On top of that, you can make like multiple glasses with these tea bags. Like this is my second one. It doesn't even look like this is like my second glass. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. So this whole idea of me wanting to start an Etsy shop didn't just like come out of thin air. It actually came to me after I hosted my annual Christmas party a little bit over a month ago. But something that I changed from previous years was I had a more official set theme as a part of the Christmas party. And the theme actually ended up being Smiskies. Like I'm obsessed with these little guys. And yeah, it was like this whole thing. I like called it Smisky Miss. It was super duper cute. And I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Like you can go watch those videos if you guys are curious. But because of that, I ended up having to make a lot of different things just to get this theme to really come to life at the party. Like Smisky themed invitations, thank you cards, prints, posters, the menu, all that stuff I had to kind of like design on my own because it obviously didn't really exist out there. And it ended up being such a fun process for me, like getting into Illustrator, Photoshop, Procreate, and just creating all these designs from scratch. And then on the day of the party, it was just like so fun and fulfilling to just see all my friends really take in the designs and just like feel like they are part of this like Smisky Miss theme. So much so that for 2025, I decided I want to host and design more cafe pop-ups for my friends throughout the year. And then second to that, since I figured I'm already making these designs, and a lot of you guys also commented on my Smisky Miss videos that you guys were also inspired to host your own things for your own friends and community, I thought why not launch an Etsy shop and share some of my designs with you guys. So I wanted to be very strategic going into this, and I honestly don't have all the time in the world to like scour the internet and like piecemeal all the information that I would need. So I'm so excited to introduce this video's sponsor, as well as my first sponsor ever on my YouTube channel, Skillshare. It was truly the most perfect timing because I have zero experience selling things. Like, I mean, of course, through my social media journey, I've promoted stuff, but I haven't like physically sold anything myself. Obviously, I know what Etsy is. I've purchased from Etsy myself, but I didn't really know what that looked like as a seller on the other side. But it's been super easy to learn because Skillshare has so many different classes and across many different industries. If you guys aren't too familiar with Skillshare, it is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, productivity, and more. Basically for anything, Skillshare can help you take your skills, your passions, your hobbies, and your side hustles to the next level. These are the two classes I ended up taking regarding starting up my own little Etsy shop. For a really high level basic overview on what it's like selling digital templates on Etsy, I took this course by Cheryl Chan. She basically takes you step by step on the entire process from brainstorming what things that you want to make, actually uploading your listing, and officially launching your shop. It made the whole idea of launching this Etsy shop feel a lot more digestible. I also took this course by Tiffany Emery. This one was a staff pick. She is like a 7-figure Etsy seller and a business coach. I feel like she dove super deep into the Etsy algorithm, and I walked away understanding it a lot better. Through my social media journey, I feel like I have a good understanding of like keywords and SEO, but like on Etsy, it's just like a completely different story. I genuinely was not aware that there were so many factors other than keywords and SEO that go into how your listing performs in the Etsy algorithm. Finally, something that I really resonated with was her talking about having a strategic Etsy launch. I'm definitely someone that like loves to plan, research heavily before I do anything. So I really appreciated that portion where she talks about like the importance of branding, marketing, target audience, like just looking into all of those things that really go into anything that you launch. And it was definitely something that I only got the opportunity to learn because it was a course on Skillshare. It was truly so nice to just like sit back, learn, and just like absorb all of this information. It just really reminded me that when it comes to honing in my creativity or really just like anything in life, it's just so important to rotate in those times to learn and just take advice from others who were in your shoes. And Skillshare is definitely an amazing resource to do just that. As a little New Year's gift, the first 500 people to use the link in my description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So definitely sign up and take advantage of it early so that you can get those creative juices flowing before it becomes next year's New Year's resolution.
Precisei sair pra poder voltar, ver o tempo bem fechado.
Now that I have taken all of my courses, I feel like we can move on to the portion of the video where we take a little bit more actionable steps. So what we are going to focus on for the rest of the day is our little mini project. You guys have kind of seen me talk about this in a few videos. If you guys aren't new to my channel, you guys know I love myself a good mini project. Mini projects can literally apply to any area of your life. I feel like as someone that is constantly like jumping the gun, I always have so many like different ideas that I like suddenly want to pursue from like one day to the next. Mini projects I feel like are really good ways for me to set myself up for success and not overwhelm myself with this like huge 1-year convoluted plan. I guess in a super general sense in how I approach crafting my own little mini projects, I would say is taking like whatever end goal or whatever you're like trying to go for and achieve, and then finding some sort of like small, digestible, actionable, but also impactful step that you're going to take to get there and make like a project out of that. So for me, I'm actually in the process of planning out my second pop-up cafe. As you can see, I already made the invitations. I think this came out so cute and so good. This is just like a replica of the actual invitation that I sent out to my friends. For my mini project, I was thinking of taking this kind of invitation layout and going into Canva and seeing how many variations of like invitations I could make. I'm just gonna be using this as like a blueprint for other designs and having them all uploaded as their own individual listings for the launch of my Etsy shop. So let's get into Canva, pull in this little blueprint, and get designing. As you guys can see, the designs are officially done. I definitely underestimated how long this was going to take me to do. I think I stayed up until like midnight or like 1 in the morning, so I am really tired right now, but we're gonna power through. I did want to talk with you guys about these designs before we move forward because I think yesterday I mentioned taking my pop-up cafe invitation and then seeing how many iterations of individual invitations that I could make as their own separate listings. But as I was designing and also looking at similar listings that were already hosted on Etsy, I had this idea of creating themed bundles instead. For example, instead of making these apartment coffee shops as their own individual listings separately, I decided to include it all in one Canva file. I wanted to give the buyer or the consumer a few more options in terms of graphics, illustrations, placement, as well as layout. And then to make it even more of a unique bundle, I also also included menu layouts that paired nicely with each individual invitation that was already part of the bundle. For example, this one and this one pretty much go together in terms of style, but they all kind of have a very similar vibe and feel. So I also wanted to give that flexibility in terms of the buyer being able to kind of mix and match the designs within the bundle. I ended up making an apartment coffee shop bundle as well as a Valentine's Day bundle. I only made 2 because that was as much as I could get done by the time it hit 1 in the morning. But now I'm super excited to move into the next step, which is actually creating the listing and uploading it. I feel like this is honestly my favorite part because I just love it when like the creative elements and then the business side of things just connect. It is just one of my favorite little sweet spots. However, I'm someone that will try to save time anywhere that I can. So one of the ways that I like to do that is by outsourcing some of the process. So one of my favorite resources is this platform called Creative Market, and it's basically just what it sounds like. It is a marketplace for a bunch of like creative elements. If you guys have noticed in my YouTube videos, I love to use like really fun, freehand, unique fonts, and that's basically where I get all of them. Whenever I kind of want to switch up the vibe or make things feel a little bit more lighthearted, I will go onto Creative Market and look for like a fun, unique font for my video. It is just something that I really take a lot of joy from in terms of like my editing process. Obviously, I could save my money and maybe make my own font depending on how my video is going, but I do not have the time for that. I don't even think I have the skill level for that. So we are going to be basically translating that process and that idea into my Etsy shop, where I am planning on purchasing some mockups that I will be using for my actual listings. If you guys aren't familiar with what a mockup is, and I don't have like the textbook definition of it, but from my understanding, it's basically showcasing your design in a little bit more of like a professional light, and also in a way that the user will better understand. Instead of just like taking my invitation or my digital file that I'm gonna be selling and just like having like some kind of screenshot of it, what would look a lot nicer is if I had it mocked up on like an actual printed card, or let's just say I had an art piece or some kind of art file that I'm going to be selling. A mock-up of that would basically be having the art print in like a nice frame hanging on the wall. And if there's one thing to know about me, I am so awful at taking pictures or remembering to take them. Every single year, I feel like it is my New Year's resolution to take more photos. And every single year, I'm surprised with how little and few photos I always end up with. So because I severely lack the time and the resources and also the skill level of taking like probably really good mockups, I am just going to purchase mockups on Creative Market. These were the 2 that I was kind of looking at in preparation of this video, but I think I'm gonna go with the boho cards one. I just really love that it has like a printed card element as well as a mobile device element, because honestly, I don't really print out any of my actual invitations. I send them through text to my friends. I feel like having that like dual usability and impression for my consumer will be very helpful. After I purchase the mockup, I'm basically going to import all of my designs, and then I'll finally be able to upload all of my listings and officially launch my little Etsy shop. To upload only like one of the listings. The other one, I have all of the mock-ups prepped, but I haven't done any of like the actual like details that go into the listing. But guys, I literally had to do like a little bit of math. Like pricing is just such a scary thing. I don't know why, but that's just like how it feels. But something that I learned from one of the Skillshare classes that I took was how to properly, or how to think about pricing. Like I've never thought of profit in that way. I'm always thinking like, okay, here's how much I'm going to charge, and then like here are all my expenses, and then this is what my profit is going to be, which I feel like is the normal way to think about it. But basically in the class, the way she taught it was almost backwards, where you want your profit at the end and you kind of like add all of your expenses and stuff back in so that you're always maintaining like this level of profit. So interesting and intriguing, but obviously It's not like it's some sort of like magic calculator, and I don't even know if I like technically really priced this correctly. Anyway, I'm just going to focus on uploading this listing. So here we go. I'm a little bit nervous. You are about to publish a new listing. There's a non-refundable fee of 20 cents. By publishing, you agree to pay this fee. That is fine. Publish. It is up. Oh my gosh. I'm so curious how this like Valentine's Day one is gonna do, because it's only like early January, so I feel like searches for it are going to go pretty high up within the next month. But I'm gonna upload my second bundled listing, and then I'll give you guys a little quick run through of my little shop. This is literally how I feel right now. I'm so tired. Everything is up, and I'm going to do a little screen recording to give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough of my Etsy shop. This is my official Etsy shop. My shop is called Shop Studio 66, which my mom actually came up with because we're kind of like doing the shop together. I didn't really like mention it in this video, but my mom has been like kind of wanting to learn something new and like start something of her own. So I thought through the shop I could also like help her out and like teach her a few of the things that I know. So funny enough, when we were setting this all up, the shop is actually not under my name because you could only like list one. It's just like this cute little passion project of my mom and I. If you guys wanted to know kind of like the backstory of how we ended up with the shop name Shop Studio 66. When my mom and I were like initially brainstorming, and fun little fact about me, I'm so bad at like naming things or like putting titles on stuff. It is literally the biggest headache of my life. So I was kind of like asking her questions to see if like maybe she could come up with something a lot better than I could. And one of the questions I asked her was like, do you want the shop to be kind of like biblical or something from the Bible that like resonated with you, or something that you can like link to the shop name? And we really wanted to use the word studio, and then she miraculously was like, I think there's 66 books in the Bible. So quickly did like a quick Google search just to like double check, but that is pretty much how we came up with the name. I love that everything starts with an S. I just feel like it's super clean and neat. You guys also noticed I have other listings up here as well. So if you guys have seen my Christmas party planning videos, you guys would know that I had like a Smisky themed Christmas party, and I thought why not just like share them on my Etsy shop as well. So I also listed them here. And since it's no longer obviously like Christmas season, I put on like a 40% off sale off of all of these prints. And then here are my two listings. Again, I try to put in all the information that you would need, that this is like a bundle. There are 3 invitation options total, 3 menu layout options as well, instructions, as well as other detail shots of everything that's included in this bundle. So yeah, this is my Etsy shop. I'm actually so excited because you guys know that I love like creating things for each and every single one of my videos. So I also feel like it'll be a nice way to like share those things with you guys if you guys wanted to recreate it for yourself. I feel like I've been sitting at my desk for the entirety of this video, which is probably the case, but everything is officially done. I'm actually really excited to see what will happen with my Etsy shop in 2025. Definitely really curious how these 2 listings are gonna go, but I feel like this is also the fun part of just kind of waiting and seeing where you can improve and like how to do better for the next time. I know I mentioned this in the beginning of this video that I'm just going through a lot of change, especially with this new year, and I really want to update you guys, but unfortunately it's probably gonna have to wait till next week's video. Otherwise this video is just going to be way too long. So with that, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you guys are also planning on starting your own Etsy shop, please let me know down in the comments. I know I've been a little MIA since the Christmas party, so thank you so much for watching and supporting my YouTube channel. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys are having an amazing start to 2025. Bye!